Welcome back to the Birdhouse Dynasty Trade Show and our Week 6 preview, Week 5 takeaways, and moves to make. It is a great time to be alive. It is October. We've got all four major sports in action. We've got the Major League Baseball playoffs going on. My Brewers trying to take out the Cubbies tonight. Not looking good right now, but there is still some outs left. Anyway, we've got NFL action tonight where Cam Scattaboo and the Giants, Jackson Dart just lit up the Philadelphia Eagles. Quite enjoyable, actually. Yes. And there's basketball and hockey going on too. But we are heading into week 6 of the NFL season. It is the grind time. Yes, the people who actually care in your leagues are grinding hard. They are working the streets, working the waivers, working the trade block, and we've got some deals for you. So first off, we're going to hit you with the first takeaway for the interim between weeks 5 and 6. And that is determine whether you are actually a contender or a retooler or rebuilder. Yes, there's a slight difference. Rebuilder, full on rebuild, you are just looking to accumulate as much value as possible. Retooler, well, you're looking to make little minor moves. That's where you make the little tear downs. You are looking to, say, acquire a Malik Neighbors at this point. All right. Rebuilder, yeah, you're not selling Malik Neighbors, but someone like even Emeka Egbuka would be available if you're just starting your rebuild and you're 2-3 years out. You can flip that asset that you just got for a late first round pick into multiple firsts plus right now because, well, my boy Emeka Egbuka, yeah, he is smashing right now, but we'll get to him in a second. Takeaway number 2, that is use that ADV, which is artificial artificial dynasty value and or touchdown equity to sell and buy into more stable assets. Now, what do I mean by using ADV or touchdown equity? All right, well, ADV is simply someone like Trevor Lawrence, someone like Bryce Young, or Cam Ward, or I don't know, anybody whose dynasty value is more equated to their age than actual production. And we're going to really hit this one hard when we get into the quarterback section of this episode and some deals there. But first off, we're going to talk wide receivers and get into Egbuka and Jalen Waddle and that Chargers wide receiver room. But we're going to start off with a couple of deals and talk about trading into more stable assets and or just determining whether you're a contender or a retooler. And so here we go, right from the Patreon. I'm going to fire away with this Malik Neighbors deal, showing you how I decided that we were going to contend. And I have this team co-owned with Hergot. That's Hergot from the Patreon. Yes, this is our Max Points Best Ball League Dynasty, and we decided to flip off of Malik Neighbors and Jackson Dart, basically, and collect up tier to Justin Jefferson and Daniel Jones. So what we did here was assure ourselves some points with the veteran producing Daniel Jones here. He's smashing in Indy. You've got the young rookie. I don't want to call him a flash in the pan, not with the way he performed tonight. That is Jackson Dart, but he's doing it all without his stud receiver, Malik Neighbors. And so what we did was take that ADV. I shouldn't use ADV with Malik Neighbors because he actually is going to bounce back in his value. But I'm going to take the dynasty value of Malik Neighbors because you would not get this done in redraft. The dynasty value of Malik Neighbors in order to flip it into Justin Jefferson, a point producing vet. And hopefully use this trade to continue. I think we're 8-2 in this league. I don't know. There's definitely a median in this one. But anyway, we wanted to assure us some more points. We were contending. This was heading into last week, this deal. And I believe we went 2-0 last week. Yeah, from 6-2, we went to 8-2. And so we got the points with Jefferson, got off the points. Vince Bullinger, a Vikings fan nonetheless, we were able to get Jefferson off of him. It was amazing. And Daniel Jones continues to smash as he did last week. Good things to come there. All right, let's show you a couple other Neighbors deals because there was just an insane amount of Neighbors action last week, and you deserve to see it. Now, Neighbors is somebody whose value is going to continue to drop for a little while here, and then come week 17, you will see it creep back up again. I don't think there's any rookie wide receivers that are going to step into the league ahead of him. I know that Jordan Tyson from Arizona State will probably be the number 1 receiver, but he's not going to jump over Malik Neighbors. All right, before some more Neighbors deals, here's another one with Let's Go Brandon from our, what league was this? Same league. He decided that he wanted to contend. And he went after Breece Hall with the Braylon Allen injury. He saw the opportunity, JV uncut here. Justin, he decided to start going the other way. And he's going the other way quite aggressively, as you'll see a number of deals from Justin in this league. And so he got off of Breece Hall. This happened right before the injury, actually, to Braylon Allen. So yes, he may have been able to squeak more off of him, like a better first rounder, but he scooped up a 28 first, 27 second, and Tank Dell. Now, according to Matt English, our co-host, he believes that Tank Dell will be back, not this season necessarily, but next season. And so I like the deal from both sides here. Obviously, the injury to Braylon Allen is going to help Breece Hall get Let's Go Brandon some more points. But I like the dart throw and Tank Dell here. And I like getting a first and a second for Breece Hall. I think that's a solid move for Justin. Some people would hate on it because, I mean, geez, you're waiting for the 28 first. But Justin sees other contenders in this league. He knows it's going to be like 2027 before he actually competes. And so that 28 first could come in handy come that season. And who the hell knows what Let's Go Brandon will look like at that point in this league. All right. Next up, got another Neighbors deal here. Let's show you. Yeah, there we go. There it is. All right. This one is in Taco Corp. Oh, yeah. Matt English and I got together on this one. And ooh, this one's juicy. All right. So I at 2-2 going into last week, 2-2, but and yikes, Cubs with another home run. Oh boy. All right, I was 2-2, but I was second worst in points. Yes, I was second worst in points in this league. So that's something you want to monitor, not necessarily just your record, because if your record is misleading you that could lead you into some trouble. I went off of points scored, and points scored, I was 11th out of 12 in this league, even with all of these point producing vets: Geno Smith, Jacoby Myers, Chris Godwin, Daniel Jones, Michael Pittman, who you can't see on the screen. He's on the very bottom. Michael Pittman. I want to make sure you see it, just so you believe me. There it is. See Michael Pittman. There we go. Now you can see the whole deal. All right. So we got Geno, Jacoby, Chris Godwin, Cooper Kupp, Daniel Jones, Pittman, and Pollard all going over to Matt English, who, yet being 1-3, was third most points in this league. So you can see how records can be misleading this early in the season, yet points can show the true story. Now, I was able to get Malik Neighbors, Rashard Smith, Tyler Shook, Jalen Lane, Finn Ladden's 27 first, and a 28 fifth. So basically, I got Neighbors and a first, along with, I guess you could give a little value to Rashard Smith right now. Tyler Shook really has lost most of his value. But I got Neighbors in the first, all right? And this was my fifth 27 first now that I've accumulated in this league. So even though I was 2-2 and sitting on 424 firsts, I did not see a lot of these guys. They weren't doing anything right now. Cooper Kupp, not really tearing it up. Chris Godwin still coming back from that injury. Doesn't look great. Geno and Jacoby Myers, I kind of was wanting to get out. All right, Daniel Jones and Michael Pittman, solid pieces for him. Okay, solid pieces. Right, but yikes, Cubs are just smashing us. All right, and anyway, I got Malik Neighbors, who obviously his value will rise again. Comes at some point in the offseason. I don't know if it's going to happen in week 17, but I know at some point during the offseason, especially the way Jackson Dart is playing right now, that momentum is going to build and build and build. And we'll see what the Giants do this offseason, whether they get rid of Dable. Probably depends on the record. And, they're going in the right direction. Fan base is going nuts. Scadaboo's lighting it up. And Jackson Dart has just lit a fire under their ass, and the Giants are looking strong. And so that is good news for Malik Neighbors when he returns from this ACL tear. All right, so I like this deal from both sides. Matt did lose, unfortunately, last week by a point, and so he went to 1-4. But, again, he's still top 5 in points scored. I think he's got a shot. Wish him the best, but in the meantime, I'll collect the first and move along. Yes, 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 because that's what we do. We try to go one way or the other. If you're not first, you're last, right? You don't want to finish 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th in Dynasty. You want top 5 picks, top 4, top 3, even better, okay? Those are the picks that are most desirable come the off season. Those are the ones that you want. All right, man. Cubs are just it's like freaking batting practice here. Yikes. All right. Well, I guess the Brewers are just giving up. Might as well throw a position player in there, pitching wise. All right. Anyway, back to what we really care about. Here we had a 3-way deal in the Turtle League. All right, so I'm going to show you my end of it because I know there's only so much time here, but I am a retooler at this point. I'm in the middle of a rebuild, but at this point this year, I know I'm going to score points. However, I still would like a top 5 pick. I don't know that I really want to. I don't really have a shot even if I get in the playoffs. Okay, so I This home run. It looks like it's foul to me, unless it actually hit the foul pole. There it goes. Yeah, it's foul. All right. So anyway, I was able to acquire Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, and Jackson Dart. Got rid of Roma Dunze, Ashton Genty, a 26 first, which is mid right now, and a 26 second. So got off of Genty after his 3-touchdown week. Gave up Roma Dunze, who Hergot was able to acquire here. He's contending, and so he definitely wanted him. Instead of Neighbors, he got rid of Neighbors. Now, Brock Bowers was from the third party here. The third party was who was able to acquire the first. And Ashton Genty went to, I believe, Hergot in this one. So, anyway, from my point of view, pretty fair as far as value goes. I wanted that second quarterback because I don't love this quarterback class. So even though I'm going to have a top 3 pick, really wasn't too excited about wasting it on a quarterback this year and hoping he would develop. I'd really like to try and have a team that can actually compete next season. And so, Jackson Dart gives me that second quarterback, gives me an opportunity to potentially have that happen. All right. Hergot was able to get, you can see here, Devontae Adams, Daniel Jones, Roma Dunze, Woody Marks, and Ashton Genty, giving up Breece Hall, Neighbors, Dart, and a first. Wow. Neighbors for Dunze, Dart for Jones, Breece Hall for Adams and Woody Marks, and the 26 first, that is Fossboss's, currently the 101, I believe, in this league for Genty. So I think it's all pretty square. And then you've got Fossboss's part. I mean, I'll give Hergot credit for this one because he really was just trying to get Rome off of me. But I told him, if you want Rome, I got to get Dart somehow, and he was able to pull this off. And here is Fossboss's portion of the deal. He gives up Daniel Jones, Roma Dunze, Woody Marks, and Ashton Genty. Sorry. He gives up Devontae Adams, Daniel Jones, Brock Bowers, and Woody Marks. In return, gets 2 firsts, including his own, which would be the 101. And he gets Breece Hall. So I do like Fossboss's angle on this one. Brock Bowers for the 101, I would say, cross off. And then Daniel Jones for the 26 first. That's about fair. So then for Woody Marks and Devontae Adams, he's getting Breece Hall in a second. I'll take that. I mean, the second is pretty equal to Woody Marks, and he's getting Breece Hall for Devontae Adams. I think I'll take that, even though, he's rebuilding. Breece Hall is quite the asset right now that he could use for whatever. Being that Braylon Allen's injured, I would be shopping him right now if I were Fossboss. It's very rare that you're able to pull off a 3-team deal where everybody's happy, but that was the case here. All right, then we've got another one here in a 16-team, 1-quarterback league. We've got Matt USAF was able to acquire Josh Allen, and Kyle Pitts, giving up Trevor Lawrence, Kayshon Boutte, Woody Marks, 26 first, 28 first, and 3 seconds. Wow. Wow. In a 16-team non-Superflex league, that is quite the haul going over to Lake Slavic. But Josh Allen is a monster, even in a 1-quarterback league in a 16-team Superflex. Most definitely. Here we have another Neighbors deal. This one was from our Which league was this? This is from Crash and Smash, so it's a 12 by 11, I believe. Start 3 defensive players, but the 12 by 11 portion is most important. He was able to get Malik Neighbors and Tajay Spears, who just came back from his injury last week. Meanwhile, he gave up Jahmyr Gibbs. No, received Jahmyr Gibbs and Keenan Allen, gave up Neighbors and Spears to Fossbus. I like this deal for both sides. Contending assets going over to or to Matt English. Fossbus getting Neighbors and Tajay Spears. All right. So, speaking of Neighbors, we have some injury updates. Brock Bowers, Kyler Murray. I have them written down here. Brock Bowers, Kyler Murray, Chuba Hubbard, CeeDee, Bucky Irving, all likely out this week. I think Bowers and Kyler are still listed as questionable, but it's highly likely they'll be downgraded tomorrow if they don't play and practice. If they don't practice, which is likely. So consider those guys out. We already know that Lamar and Brock Purdy are out, and so you can look for Mac Jones and Cooper Rush to get the starts for them. Okay. Now, next up, I want to get into the wide receivers. So, Mecca Igbukah, again, like I mentioned, he could be considered a buy high and sell high at the same time. It's rare that you get this instance, but it's true. Like I said earlier, if you are a full rebuilder and you acquired Emeka Igbukah for a late first this offseason, you can now flip him for 2+ firsts. And if you can do that to help stabilize the value of your roster, the value of your franchise, you are multiplying the asset that was the late first by 2.5. I would say that Igbukah on the open market is probably worth 2 firsts plus a second. Okay, he's easily in the top 10 dynasty wide receivers, probably somewhere in the 6-7 range. I would put him right around JSN. Pick or choose either one. That's about where I'd have him right now. I'd still have Puka, Jefferson, Chase, Amon-Ra, and who am I missing? One other one I'm missing. But I would have those ahead of Igbukah and JSN right now. Then I would have Drake London probably, and one other guy I'm forgetting. But Malik Neighbors, I'd probably park him in somewhere around as a 10 right now at wide receiver, okay? So that's where I have him situated. Oh, the Brewers got out of that inning. Yikes. Still down 5-0 going into the 8th. It's not looking great. All right. Now over to Jalen Waddle. Okay, Jalen Waddle is one of the most frustrating guys I know that I can talk about. And what do we do with a guy like Jalen Waddle? So if you have Jalen Waddle, right now might not be a bad time to sell because I don't know what it's going to look like for him next year. Do you really want to bank on him as the wide receiver 1 there in Miami? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen to Tyreek in the offseason. That injury is something that could take 2 years to recover from. So at his age, it's really hard to see him coming back and being what he was. All right, because that kind of injury could take some speed off of him, and we all know speed is Tyreek's game. So Jalen Waddle has the huge opportunity right now to step up and be that guy that we've all considered the possibility of it happening for him, but all have seen him fall flat on his face and not do it because of being too inconsistent. The guy gets hurt all the time, and that's why I just can't buy into him doing it because it's like Chris Olave hitting, right? If Chris Olave has 100 yards and a touchdown this week, are we all going to jump through hoops and go trade for him? I'm not. Okay, so even if he does it 2 weeks in a row, it's like I said on the Start Sit show over on Dynasty Rewind this past Sunday. Like, Waddle's or somebody, it was the question was between AJ Brown and Jalen Waddle, and Dustin even mentioned it was like if you got AJ Brown and Jalen Waddle on your Dynasty roster, right? You drafted AJ Brown to be the guy, right? And he showed tonight, even without getting into the end zone, how he can be, right? He had, 6 catches for 80 yards, somewhere around there. So, solid performance, not great, but that's the kind of consistency you can count on from A.J. Brown. Hopefully the Eagles have sort of kind of figured that part of their game out. Obviously, they got their butts whooped tonight, and so maybe they're not going in that direction. I don't know. I don't know if the Eagles have any idea what they're doing right now. It was a brutal performance for them. So, unfortunately, for the Eagles, they're still trying to figure things out. But A.J. Brown's fantasy-wise, you got a little more consistency from him this week, which is good news. So Jalen Waddle is definitely somebody I would probably be looking to sell into something more stable. Okay? Now, week Washington, I think that the opponent, who did they play? Carolina last week, was trying to make sure and take away from his game. It's rare that you're able to draft somebody with the same skill set as a Tyreek Hill. Not quite as fast, but obviously the Dolphins drafted him in case Tyreek got hurt, and now they're trying to employ him in that scenario. You could see it happen this next week. It's quite a possibility. So don't give up on Malik Washington yet. He's absolutely dirt cheap. I'm sure whoever his owner was trying to sell him high last week, and now he shit the bed. 4 catches for 0 yards. So now you might be able to get him on a discount. You're not trading for Malik Washington straight up. Try and get Malik Washington tossed into the backside of a deal. All right. Now, finally, when we're talking the wide receivers, take 5, the Chargers wide receiver room. Okay. So there we have it, Buka. Now we move over to the Chargers and Ladd McConkey. We're talking Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnston here. So Ladd McConkey last week finally gets into the end zone. Has 5 for 39, though, on 7 targets. You can see the targets aren't bad. 9, 5, 7, 6, 7. Pretty consistent, right? Quentin Johnston's, though, 7, 7, 10, 13, and then just 4 last week, 4 for 40. So he actually had more yards than Ladd did last week, just didn't get in the end zone. You can see Quentin Johnston, wide receiver 8 on the year, Ladd McConkey, wide receiver 41. So I would guess by the end of the season, these two get a lot closer, both in the wide receiver 20s range, along with Keenan Allen as well. So Keenan Allen has been the one that's kind of stolen some of Ladd McConkey's work. But Ladd McConkey, as you can see, only age 23, whereas Keenan Allen's like age 83. And so we don't know how much longer Keenan Allen has. I'm sure he probably just wants to retire a Charger now and try and give them a chance to win a Super Bowl and help them out in that regard. But Ladd, at the same time, he's not a buy for me, right? He has too much ADV. Again, back to that ADV, artificial dynasty value. The dude's still valued at like, I don't know what it is, like over 5,500, and keep trade cut. That's insane. That's just nuts. Like, that's a first plus. Are you giving up a first plus for Ladd McConkey? Ladd McConkey, wide receiver 41? Hell no. All right. if I'm a contender, I'd rather have Quentin Johnson on my roster. But Dynasty value-wise, Quentin Johnson hasn't performed the first couple of seasons. So if he does disappoint over the next, say he goes 3 weeks in a row with 4 for 40, same thing as he did this last week, his value is going to, I don't know, plummet with a 4 for 40 performance 3 times in a row. But people are going to be more out on him much quicker than if, say, Lad McConkey goes 4 for 40 the next 3 weeks. His value is still going to be somewhere. I mean, he could drop under a first, but it's still going to be like 2 seconds. Okay, so the problem here lies in Justin Herbert and his distribution. Herbert struggled the last 2 weeks, actually, and so I don't know where the Chargers are at. This is a wide receiver room that I am kind of just avoiding right now because I don't see a breakout happening with Lad. Until I see it, I'm not buying that ADV from him. So that's one wide receiver room I would just simply try to avoid. One could see it as an opportunity to buy, but I'm not buying at that price. Okay? That's the problem, is the price. So I don't love it. Quentin Johnson, after a down week, I mean, I just don't know that I could stomach trading a first for Quentin Johnson right now. Like, would I give up something like, I don't know, a Tajay Spears in a second? Yeah, I could do that. Okay, maybe somebody's got a hankering for Tajay Spears and now he's coming back. I don't know. If there's a middle-aged running back that's kind of producing in a second, I could see doing that if you've got, or dish off DeAndre Swift. If you get out on another asset that is also just as questionable as the Quentin Johnson asset is questionable, that's all right, okay? Because you're just trading different risks, right? And I do think the Chargers are going to bounce back here going forward. It's just, I mean, their coaching staff's too smart to screw it up. So I would look to buy into one Justin Herbert, and that leads us into take 6, our dark horse MVPs. Now, Justin Herbert going into week 4 was one of those guys. He wasn't going into the season seen as a major MVP candidate, but first 3 weeks of this 2025 season, he really pumped himself up. Now, the last 2 weeks have not been great, and so he's dropped down. And the other guys that I really want to mention here as dark horse MVPs would be Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, Sam Darnold, and Matthew Stafford. See any kind of coincidence there? All kind of pocket passers. Baker's got a little running in him. But the others, Dak, Jared Goff, Sam Darnold, Matthew Stafford, all pretty much kind of considered statues right now, right? Back there. But the point is that if you take them up against some other younger quarterbacks who are not producing as much, and you look at their values, you could actually get these kind of point producers, and you look at their point totals, they're solid. They're getting you 15 to 20 a week. Whereas some of these other younger dudes like Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, coming off of a good week, all right? Yeah, he did put up good numbers against a completely depleted Baltimore Ravens defense. Note that. Completely depleted and just drained Baltimore Ravens defense. Bryce Young and Cam Ward. Those guys, all their dynasty value is just based on their age. and T-Law that he was a former number one pick. And now T-Law had a game that I don't know that it was actually really that good against the Chiefs. Did you think T-Law played well? Dude fell on his ass twice and still was able to get up and stumble into the end zone. Like, that was not a good play. It was pure panic, and he even admitted it after the game. Yet somehow he's led them to 4-1. I don't want to say that T-Law is the one that's led him to that. I think it's the defense and the creativity with the defense. Devin Lloyd's playing out of his mind. They're implementing Travis Hunter in there all over the place. They're trying to get their money's worth out of that pick for Travis Hunter. It's frustrating the hell out of all the fantasy owners, but they're trying to win football games. They don't care about your fantasy team. So, point being, Trevor Lawrence isn't turning Brian Thomas or keeping Brian Thomas as a top 10 dynasty wide receiver. He isn't blowing Travis Hunter up in the dynasty ranks. Okay, Travis Hunter sneakily is getting a little more, this Monday night, 3 for 64, I think it was. That was kind of promising. But until he's actually getting 80-90% of the offensive snaps, like, you can't truly buy into it now. I did buy Travis Hunter. I got him for a 27 first on a contender, oddly enough. But it's a contender where I've been contending so long that I haven't used a first round pick since I took Jordan Addison, and that's actually the only first round pick I've used since 2020 in that one. So it's a contending team that I am flipping. Travis Hunter was an early first this year. I got him for what will hopefully be a late first. And so I'm using it, kicking it forward, but I'm still getting youth there to help out my wide receiver room that's sort of aging. I've got CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown. So that's one way as a contender you can actually still infuse some youth into it. See some young assets, maybe somebody like a Marvin Harrison, right? Who people are disappointed in, but still are going to produce. Like, Marvin Harrison isn't going to get zeros, right? He's still young enough. Like, the dude's going to be a top. He's going to be a solid wide receiver 2-ish, okay? With the potential still to be a top 10 dynasty wide receiver, okay? If he ends up in a different situation, they get a different quarterback, I don't know. Like, imagine if he was with the Chiefs or something, right? This would not be going on. The garbage with Kyler. Ugh, so frustrating. All right. Let's move on to my take number 8. And that is the running back rookie report. Okay, I'm going to sum up the rookie running backs real quick. Buy. Okay, I'm buying any of these rookie running backs right now. Amari Hampton, now he got hurt. This might open up a window to buy. Quinshon Judkins, I still don't think he's at his ceiling value-wise. Ashton Genty, disappointing offensive line. He could be better. All right, Travion Henderson, R.J. Harvey, Woody Marks, all muddled in committees, yet they are the most talented running back in their running back rooms. Then you've got Brashard Smith and who am I missing? Bashul Tootin, DJ Giddens, okay? These are guys who aren't necessarily the most talented in their running back rooms, right? You got Bashul Tootin, he's got Travis Etienne there. I don't know that he takes over that backfield this year. Brashard Smith, he's got Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, and it's the Chiefs, right? Like, he's not going to just take over that backfield. DJ Giddens, he's got Jonathan Taylor ahead of him. But they're all very talented backs, and in the right situation, one injury happens, they're all getting a a production and value bump severely. And one last guy, don't want to forget about Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson, you could seriously like offer a third to their owner, and they actually have to think about it. Okay, you offer them 2/3, or you offer them a second. They're going to consider that right now for a guy who was picked highly in the first round, or he was picked highly as in he was a first round pick. I'm not saying he was picked in the top half of the first round. He was usually picked in the back half of the first round. But there were high hopes for Caleb, right? And we've had a Jalen Warren injury and still no more production. We're seeing Kenny Gainwell go to town. I mean, yeah, it's not looking great, okay? But, you know, I've been playing this game long enough that I can remember trading Chad Pennington for a certain guy named Larry Johnson, who was completely in Dick Vermeil's doghouse, right? That was one of the worst trades I have ever made. So I've learned, okay? There's lessons to be learned. And that's don't give up on talent. All right? Don't just give it away. That's the point. Yeah, if you can recoup some good value. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to demand first for Caleb Johnson. The point being, if you have Caleb Johnson right now, he's a hold. Okay? Then finally, point 10. This tight end shit show that's going on. Hunter Henry, the man. We had Zach Ertz tearing it up the first few weeks. Now, these last 3 weeks, we've had the rookies step it up. We've had Mason Taylor, boom, in New York. He just boomed with targets. He had, 13 targets, 9 catches? Wow. Last 2 weeks, he has really stepped it up. Then we have A.J. Barner out in Seattle, just keeping Elijah Arroyo off the field. Theo Johnson with the Giants. I did not see what his stats were. But are we buying the volume there? It's a tough call. I really like A.J. Barner out of those, actually, just because, Cooper Kupp hasn't just hugely stepped up. But the key with them, yeah, I kind of like A.J. Barner, but I'm not actively going and buying something like that because it's really, again, the touchdown equity. So if you could sell A.J. Barner to actually move yourself up to a more stable asset, that's a move that I would consider looking into there. All right. Let's see here. Theo Johnson tonight. Theo Johnson did not have to do much, just 2 for 27, unfortunately. All right, well, Dart is spreading it around, and they were running the ball a lot that second half, so that's understandable. All right, let's head over, get into some more deals from the Patreon. Okay. Here we go. Last week, prior to Monday Night Football, in a two best ball leagues, we had a couple of, Patty Mahomes deals. So first off, in the Taco Corp League, I had 5 quarterbacks. Now I am down to 2 quarterbacks because I've just massively accumulated first round picks. Here's the first deal. Made this one with Obama, who was 4-0, went to 5-0. I was able to get his 27 first. Now I'm sitting on 6 27 firsts. I think I'm going to stop there because otherwise I'm going to start competing with myself on 27 first in that league. I got a 26 first. That's a mid 26 first right now. Who knows what Obama will be doing in 2 years. So, or after next season. Um, his roster is one when I look at, it seems like it's sort of smoke and mirrors. Now he did get Mahomes, so now he has two quarterbacks, but again, I don't know. Noah Gray kind of just a throw in there. But basically, two firsts for Mahomes. You can cross off the seconds, and it's two firsts for Mahomes. I like that price. I wanted to get some more firsts before one of my other quarterbacks gets hurt, and then I can't get anything for him. So I think I'm going to stop there. I got Jaden Daniels and Baker Mayfield. I'll keep those two, and then I'll go into the offseason and see what I can shop around for. I like this deal for myself. For him, yeah, it'll help him contend. But we'll see. There's a lot of contenders in the first year of a Dynasty League, and I did not want to get into that mess. It was rough in the streets trying to make deals in that league. All right, here we go. Here's another big deal. This is in our 53-man league. Jonathan Taylor being acquired by Matt English, along with Devonta Smith and a third for Travis Hunter. Now, this is an IDP league, so Travis Hunter has much more value here. I'd almost consider, even if you, okay, let's cross off Travis Hunter and Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith in the third, I'd say. So JT for the first and Brashard Smith. I like the JT side. I'm going to slightly give it to Matt English here, but I don't hate it from Fossboss's side either because I love the upside right now for Travis Hunter. And you can call me an idiot for that, but I see just one of the most talented guys in football there, and if they figure out that defense to the point where Hunter can play more offense, I'm really loving that. Okay, here's one where I was taking advantage of that Sam Darnold. This is where I was talking about Sam Darnold here. He is now my fifth quarterback on this roster, but Geno is one of the others, and I'm really not loving Geno at this point. So I went ahead and grabbed Sam Darnold and Javonte Williams for one of our firsts. We had three firsts, and then we got Kyle Williams going away, who's not doing much of anything. Talk about ADV, that's Kyle Williams for you. All right, so I'll take that on a contending team all day. Now, last week at this point, I wasn't doing that deal, but it was still there. Talked with him, still did it. Fine, I'm good with it. All right, this one is in the Birdhouse League, and so Zach Charbonnet, Jalen Royals, and a first going over to Hergot. Matt English, a contender, getting J.K. Dobbins, George Pickens, a fourth, and Justice Hill. So I'd say Hill and Royals could cross each other off, although I like Justice Hill a little more in best ball. Then you've got Charbs. I like this deal for Matt English. I'm going to lead Matt English. Pickens in the first is fair. Dobbins and Charbs, pretty equal, but I just like the producing side there. Pickens is somebody who can explode any week, and he's going to have hype this offseason when he gets that contract, whether it's with Dallas or somebody else. So I'm going to lean that side. Here we go. This one, Hergot, I love from his side, and this is that same league. He got Wan'Dale Robinson and Turd Ferguson. Sorry, I thought that was Jake Ferguson. Oops. So I'm going to say this one's really equal. Wan'Dale for the second, toss it up. JT Sanders and Turd Ferguson, toss it up. I'm almost leading JT Sanders here. So, sorry, Hergot. But I think this one is a wash. All right. Next up, we've got There we go. This is from the 2QB 2 tight end league. Justin Fields for a 26 first. 26 first is from Skymoff. No, from Flossboss going to Skymoff. I'd say this is about where Justin Fields' value is. I'll take both sides getting what they wanted in that deal. Here we go. This is in a Turo League, and we saw a team. Okay, so this is something I want to talk about a little bit. When a team shows that they are fire sailing, you want to take advantage. Whether it's too early in the season or not, Deebo Samuel for a third right now, I'll take that. Travis Etienne for a second, got to be contending to do that because I don't know that he's going to be worth a first. Now, come this off season, I could definitely see it. And then we're gonna finish it off with our fantasy fisting frenzy trade between me and Matt English. Daniel Jones, I did not want to get rid of, but I had 5 quarterbacks in this league, and so I did not need him. Did want wide receiver help. Added a second and a fourth. I'll take it, even though that second is a 28 second. I really like Jordan Addison, especially in best ball, where I don't have to decide on when his blow up weeks are gonna occur. And so this was a good trade for both of us. We're both contending. That's a rarity, but he offered it to me, and I'll take the second and fourth and just bank that. And I've got J.J. McCarthy coming back in that league. Do have Carson Wentz in case. McCarthy isn't the guy. Whatever. That's a situation that's hard for me to explain, but there's so much talent around there in that room that and this adds another stack there for me. So I'll take the shot there. I mean, I had so many Daniel Jones shares. I did need to get out on some of them. Like, I feel like I had at least nine or 10 out of it. So I had like 33% ownership in Daniel Jones. So I really needed to get out on a couple just because, like, what if an injury occurred to him? Then I'd be totally smoked on all the value that I could have accumulated. So that's part of the thing to keep in mind too. Guys, these guys get hurt. So if you have too many guys at a position, especially in a lineup league, you want to get out on some of that value. Condense down your roster. We know injuries happen, okay? But condense down that roster. Make sure you get some draft picks in the bank so you can use them before the trade deadline. Or if there is no trade deadline, you want to have those in the bank so that you can make moves in the playoffs as well. All right? So yes, you can trim down the fat, okay? Trim down that fat, sell some questionable assets and get into more stable assets. And that will help you be consistent for the next few weeks, because that's all we can do. We're a third of the way through the season right now, right? Right now, we're into the grind of week 6 through 10, and the best Dynasty players stay consistent in this range because they've been able to flip and make trades if they have a lot of injuries. Okay, there has been very significant injuries. Bucky Irving and Omarion Hampton were looking good, right? And now we got these ankle sprains, right? So they happen. It's football. It's football, baby. They get hurt. So don't cry. Don't cry about injuries. We're talking football here. They guys get injured. What are you going to do about that happening? All right? Are you going to cry about it? Or are you going to make moves? That's up to you. Just remember, check me out on CLemke007 underscore FF. Check out the Patreon at patreon.com, Birdhouse Dynasty Show. And you could always ask me a question, buymeacoffee.com/Birdhouse Dynasty Show. But remember to never stop working.